Former NBA star Lamar Odom was found unconscious at a Nevada brothel, and he remains unconscious in a hospital as a result of alleged drug use. Now, right now, there are a few details as to which drugs he took. Of course, there are lots of speculations because of the fact that he has dealt with substance abuse issues for a very long time. However, those who worked at the brothel claimed that he had taken a herbal supplement similar to something like Viagra. And when authorities found him, again, he was unconscious and was rushed to the hospital. Now, he was married to Khloe Kardashian. In fact, he's still legally married to her. So she's now making medical decisions in his case. There have been a number of really disgusting, critical reports about her and her family as a result of this. Whatever you think about the Kardashian family, please put that all aside, because what Khloe Kardashian is going through right now, what Lamar Odom's family is going through right now, is unquestionably devastating, and there needs to be a little more sensitivity when it comes to it. Now, 4 of Lamar's organs, including his kidneys, are failing. As reported, he's had a series of strokes in the hospital and has heart problems as well.
Man, this doesn't look good. They say, and TMZ is doing a lot of this reporting. Obviously, they cover entertainment. And they say that he has about a 50-50 chance of living. And the more that his organs shut down, it creates problems for other organs and becomes a vicious cycle. And they're not sure if he had brain damage in any of the strokes. They don't know yet. But that's also possible. So there's a lot to worry about here. So, look, I'm going to make a policy point about this, because that's what we do. We try to have interesting conversations around things that are in the news, and obviously this is a tragedy. But beyond that, look, we argue for drug legalization all the time. That doesn't mean that you should take every drug under the roof, So part of the reason we argue for drug legalization is because it actually reduces people taking illegal drugs, right? Mm-hmm. Now, in this case, so I don't know if it was the vitamin supplement. Obviously, we don't know yet, right? I don't know if that's legal, illegal, right? But he clearly had a drug addiction that he's been wrestling with for a long time. You could take the money from legalizing, go put it more towards awareness. And this is not a theory. Portugal's done it. Many other countries have done it. And drug use has gone down, not up. So don't forget, like, as we say, hey, marijuana should be legal. And I think all drugs should be legal, because it only creates gangs and more crime to try to make it illegal. Doesn't mean it's a good thing.
Yeah,
right?
It doesn't mean it's a good thing. But here's what happens when you legalize it. So some people might think, well, isn't it counterproductive to legalize all these drugs if you're trying to combat drug addiction? Actually, no. Right now, since we've criminalized all of these hard substances, oftentimes when someone is caught up in an addiction, they don't seek the help that they need because they're worried about being criminalized. They're worried about, these tough-on-crime laws that are going to be thrown at them as a result of that. Now, when it comes to Lamar Odom, he's had a history with meth use and lots of hard drugs, not just marijuana. So this goes way beyond the scope of, the marijuana conversations that we've had on the show before. But it's important to have resources available to people so they can get the help that they need. And he's been dealing with this drug addiction since the early 2000s. He had a few suspensions in the NBA because he tested positive for drugs. Again, this is something that he's been dealing with for a long time. It's such a devastating story to hear that he's going through this, that his family's going through this, and we need to come up with real solutions to help people in situations like this.
Now, I mentioned marijuana and other drugs. I don't want anybody to get confused. He doesn't have a marijuana problem. He has a hard drug problem, okay? And so one last thing. He's rich, he's famous. A lot of people think, being famous will cure you of your, whatever it might be, your insecurities, whatever ails you psychologically. And everybody's got different issues, right? Turns out it doesn't, okay? And money doesn't do it either, because he had plenty of both, right? Now, at the same time, I do get frustrated at people who are in his situation. Yeah, easy for me to say, I don't have the issues he has, right? And I didn't live the life that he did, right? So I'm not trying to judge him. But I'm just saying, if you do have a lot of money, fame, or whatever these advantages are, and who didn't want to play for the Lakers and, and have this great, great life, or what seemed to be a great life, I feel like then you've got a responsibility to the rest of humanity to enjoy the great gifts that you have, right? And I wish that he could have found a positive way to do that. And maybe he recovers and this snaps him out of it. And maybe he does wind up living that great life. But for all the people who don't have money, try to enjoy it, man. I know that it's easy to say because I didn't grow up in his life, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he had a whole host of issues no matter how much money he had, right? But so many people don't have what you had. Just try to at least, have great gratitude for it and try to get the most out of it. Yeah. I'm not even saying give it away. I'm saying, at least, enjoy it, enjoy your life.
Oftentimes when people have drug addictions, it doesn't matter what privileges you have, the opportunities you've been given, how great your life is. It takes hold of you. And it's very easy to not only forget, it's not even a factor in your thinking because you are taken over by these substances, And I really hope he recovers. I don't know, this is just such a heartbreaking story.
Don't do hard drugs, man. What are you going to do meth for? Don't do meth. That's crazy. And best case scenario is you rot your teeth away and you go through hell and then you recover. That's the best case scenario. Don't do meth. Don't be crazy. You want to smoke pot? Have at it, Hoss. Have a beer, smoke pot. Don't go down this road. It doesn't end well. I mean, if Lamar Odom, with all the money and fame in the world, couldn't recover from it, what chance do you have?